Haters, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Les damos la bienvenida nuevamente aquí a su canal de El Hater y en esta ocasión tenemos el gusto de estar platicando con Andreas Ballnus, el guitarrista y compositor de la banda Philosophobia, una banda de pues carácter internacional, tiene miembros en Países Bajos, en Alemania, en Grecia, y pues es una banda específicamente, se puede decir que es de progressive metal, quienes el próximo viernes 11 de julio lanzarán su segundo álbum de estudio titulado The Constant Void a través de Sensory Records. Entonces, vamos a comenzar nuestra entrevista con Andreas. Andreas, thanks a lot for being here for El Hater. How are you doing, man? How is life treating you in Germany?
Thank you, first of all, for having me. It's really an honor to be on your podcast. Really cool. We are all doing really good here. We're all super excited, of course, because of the release next week.
Yeah.
The reviews that we got so far are really promising. They're really good. So we're a little bit calmed down right now, but still very excited. It's like you set something free to the world and you don't know what to expect, because after some times and you listen to it over and over again in the mixing and mastering process, you kind of lose the sense of objectivity.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's really good anymore. But I mean, we're super proud of it, and we hope that people out there will like it.
Yeah, of course, it's hard to know if how you felt it went during the recording. It's the same the outcome that is gonna be coming out of the mastering or all the process back in the studio. So
Yeah.
it may be come out a totally different monster than what you sense you created while recording. I get you, man.
I mean, we're absolutely satisfied with that, because Phil, the producer, is a friend of mine since many years, and I know
Mm.
how he works, and I know how his mixing process is, and the mastering, and I know that he has got the same idea of the sound that we have. So I was kind of relaxed regarding this. It's more like, it's like your baby, and how will
Yeah.
people appreciate that's the main thing about it.
Yeah, and like the children, they grow and they have the character of themselves, and it's no
Exactly.
longer yours, and it's their responsibility to
Yeah,
stand up for themselves out in the world. The same with
exactly
music.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great, man. Um, if you don't mind, let's start with the question that I had for you. And as I mentioned before, the first question that I have was asked by a previous guest. This question is courtesy of Daniel Wallace from the Florida band Midwound. And
Mhm.
the question he asked is this one. How do you tell a bandmate that the song he has shown you is not good enough?
Good question.
Yeah.
When it comes to Philosophobia, this question never occurred, because
Oh.
for the first album and this album, I wrote all the songs. So I never
You can
told
tell
myself.
yourself.
But when I was playing guitar with Paul Diano, the ex-Iron Maiden singer,
Yeah.
I was a tour guitar player for 13 years with him, and we did an album under the name of Architects of Chaos. And of course, there were different songwriters, not only me.
Mhm.
And I mean, when we were doing songs in the rehearsal room and it just didn't work out like I thought it should be, basically we just worked on and on until it worked. We just changed some parts or whatever. Because I think I never had the situation where I was not satisfied with the song in its entirety. There were some parts that were good, some parts that were not, and so we sat down and worked on it.
Basically, just
But
like, let's keep trying, let's keep working, let's try
yeah,
this, let's
exactly,
try that.
exactly. I mean, sometimes in the end it doesn't work. It's the same with the songs that I write for the Concert Void. I had like 14 or 15 songs, and 8 plus the intro, and that you don't like. I heard.
Yeah,
you're
I
not
hate
you're not
intros,
an
man.
intro guy, yeah?
No, man. No, just put it with the first song. Get on with
Yeah.
it.
But I will talk about the intro later. Maybe you change your mind. But I had like 14 or 15 songs, and 8 ended up on the album. So there were a couple of songs where I thought, okay, maybe they're good, but they're not as good as the other 8 ones.
Mm.
So that happens. I mean,
Yeah,
that
you have
happens
to
in every band.
filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. Great. Thanks a lot for your answers, man. And
Yeah,
the next
welcome.
question that I had for you, and now we are focusing on the new album, is this one. Well, with progressive albums and progressive metal or rock bands, most of the times you find out that it's all about each element of the band. I mean, how good am I playing my instrument? How good am I singing, uh, hitting the drums? But with the previous album, but mostly with this new album, I felt very satisfied while hearing it because the feeling that I have heard in this album is it just blew my mind. It's not something that you find every day in a progressive rock or metal album. It's hard to find an album with this element that that it's a highlight that is in the front line of all other elements. How do you guys manage to put the feeling first and then the talent, the technique, the speed, the knowledge, all the quality that you guys have as players, as composers, as executioners. Uh, but first you put the feeling. I can hear that, and that's not an easy thing to do in any genre. We just even less in progressive metal. So, did you wanted to do that? It just came out naturally. How did it happen?
It came out absolutely natural. I mean, we all have the same vision for the music that we're making. And to speak for me personally,
Yeah,
when it comes to progressive metal, I grew up kind of with a Dream Theater. That was the first band that I heard, and I really love them till this day. But I love them even more until, let's say, um, Scenes from a Memory, maybe. After
okay.
that, I think they lost themselves a little bit in the song structures. I mean, Petrucci, the great guitar player that he is, I totally
Yeah,
adore him.
man.
But at some point, he started, playing like 80 notes on the guitar within half a minute when there was James singing over it. That for me that doesn't make no any sense, and it annoys me to listen to that. I mean, it doesn't annoy me that much that I don't listen to Dream Theater anymore.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course
yeah.
I do, but that's not my kind of music. And I remember when I think it was like 19 or 20 years old, and a friend brought over The Perfect Element Part 1 by Pain of Salvation. And I listened
Cool.
to that and I was like, oh, okay, that's prog metal too. That's great because it has a structure. It has, a verse, it has a bridge, it has a chorus that repeats. And then there is a space and time for instrumental madness, if you might call it like that. And that's what I like, and that what I want to do with Philosophobia too, that the song itself, if there is somebody who's just, let's say, not into prog metal, but into metal, you can just skip the instrumental part and still it could be a great song, because the song itself makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's how I approach progressive music. And this is what all the others also do when it comes to recording and writing the songs. Alex, for example, he's a exceptional drummer. I mean, I love everything about the technical side of him, but also about his songwriting skills on drums. We were in the studio and I thought maybe you could play this and this, and he was like, no, the song doesn't need it at that point. It is like there could be drummers out there and say, oh wow, that was crazy, but the song doesn't need it. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you're absolutely right. I mean, not if you have a song that's 8 minutes long, it doesn't have to be an 8 minute show off of your abilities. And
Exactly, man. I mean, the song maybe you can do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that you have to do them.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And I mean, we played a couple of shows live now since the debut album, and we know that there are people in the audience like that want to see stuff like that. So Alex, for example, has a short solo spot where you can show off, and people, are cheering and applauding and everything, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
like
Old
I mentioned
school.
already, the song is the most important.
Exactly. The song. The
Yeah.
song is the most important thing, and that's you can hear that all around the album. I mean, and that's actually kind of the the thing that I want to go into with my next question,
Yeah.
which is this one. Well, as I said before, there's a lot of quality in all the lineup of the band, and of course on the songs of the album. Is it hard for all of you to kind of dominate the the great performer ego and just put the talent and put that quality at the service of the music in general and forget yourself and just do the thing that's right for the songs? Because most of the bands are not able to make it. And as you were saying, and personally, I'm not a fan of Dream Theater because of the very thing that you said before. Sometimes, well, many times I find them like they are kind of mumbo jumbo because they don't know what to do next to get the songs to the next level. Where maybe just keep doing the same that you were doing before will work and will make a great song. But with you guys, with the previous album and with this new one, I find that you are able to put all the talent at the service of music. Is it hard for you to accomplish this, or it just comes naturally? Is something that you all agreed before you start working? How is it work for you?
Actually, we never spoke about it in the band. It just happened like that. Everybody had the same vision for it. We all know what we are capable of doing, musical or technical wise. Um, but like I said, we have the same vision. We want the songs to be strong. Uh, of course, it's not like the typical four on the floor heavy metal double
Yeah,
bass stuff. There are some things that if you really listen to it, you will find very, some people might call it crazy or whatever in a technical way. Um, yeah, but we never talked about this. It was like we did the first demos already in 2007. I'm not sure if you know that, um, and it was like that from the beginning. We always wanted to keep focus on the songs.
that's great, man. Not many musicians have that mentality just inserted inside their brains because I, when you have this kind of level while playing an instrument, it's very easy to lose yourself just thinking that because I'm capable of doing this, I should do this every time. I should introduce these elements into every song so the people notice that I am the best, that I am or at least one of the best. But
I tell you something about
yeah,
the guitar that I haven't told anyone yet. Um, Before we went in the studio for the Constant Void, I had, of course, all the guitar solos figured out how I will record them, and so I did in the studio. And when I'm recording, I like to stay in the studio. So there was a separate apartment inside the studio complex, and I slept there. And I was sitting there and playing Xbox, NBA 2K, I remember.
okay.
And I thought about the recordings of that day, the solo recordings, and I have a certain knowledge of production things and studio techniques and stuff like that. So I asked the producer, "Is it okay if I start the recording equipment again and I try something?" And he said, "Sure. Just don't erase everything that we already recorded, but
Yeah.
apart from that, it's fine." So I sat down and I listened to the solos again in the evening, all alone, completely alone in the studio, and I was satisfied, but I thought it lacks a certain kind of feeling. I mean, from a technical side, it's perfect, and I really like that, and then the melodies and stuff, but it's somehow it didn't touch my heart anymore. So I sat
Mm,
down, and 90% of the solos that you are hearing on the Constant Void right now are improvised solos I did that night. First take.
man,
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I did some overdubs, of course, where some harmonies have to come in, but yeah, that was about the guitar recordings, and
Man,
that's what you said in the beginning, the feeling of the songs, and that was something I was after listening again to the recorded solos, I was missing the feeling of the guitar, and so I said, okay, I do that again. There are some minor mistakes that I left in.
yeah, man, it's natural, it's organic,
Yeah,
it's old school. I mean, it's art. Art is not
yeah.
supposed to be perfect. It's not to be square and you all polish. I mean, you can do that, and if your aim is to do that, but leaving the human aspect of the art in some records, not in every record, just clicks, just
Mm.
works. This album
Yeah.
works because I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that. But now it makes sense. It makes sense because actually the solos are one of my favorite parts of the album. And, it
Thank
just
you very much.
transmits feeling,
Mhm.
transmits something. It's something that you can feel. It's something that makes you just clench your fists and grind your teeth and squeeze your eyes while you hear it. It's very old school, and that's something that not many guitar players do nowadays. Thanks a lot, man, for letting your heart and your soul work in team with your brain and your fingers to create these kind of solos, man.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
No, don't even mention it, man. Um, the next question I got for you is this one. As I said in my review, you guys are here with the knife between your teeth. You are coming for heads, and there's no question about it. Maybe not lots of people have heard of the band yet, because nowadays there's a lot of bands out there. There's a lot of offer and a lot of demand, so it's hard to find your crew, your niche, your people, and then from there grow. But tell me, man, do you guys are really thinking about becoming one of the most exciting, best, and known progressive metal or metal acts in the current scene? Because I gotta tell you, man, for what I've heard so far, all of your releases, you have the quality in every aspect to go there and to stay there for a very long time.
That would be, that would be our goal, of course. We figured out during the last years that it was really hard. Maybe the year we started, 2022, with the release of the debut album was not the best year because, that
Yeah,
was in the pandemic or at the end of the pandemic. And actually, some
I
of the
understand.
tours that are taking place right now are still the tours that were postponed from the COVID pandemic. So it's
Yeah,
super hard to get out there, to get a tour spot as a support band of some other band. um, it somehow worked in the last couple of months with festivals, and even there it was like, we came off stage after the gig, and people were coming to us and saying, "Oh man, you were the best band of the festival. Never heard of you." And that's a problem. If you don't go out and play live, people will not hear of you. We
yeah,
had super great reviews for the first album, many 10 out of 10s, and we were, album of the month in Rock Hard magazine France and stuff like
yeah,
that. But people don't know you if you don't play live. They read a review, they think, "Oh, that's a cool band." They read the next review and they've forgotten the first one. So they don't
yeah,
listen to your record. You have to go out and play live. And if we manage somehow to get, some nice support spot for bands like Evergrey or Pain Observation or stuff like that, that would be absolutely fantastic. And we're working on that.
yeah, man. And now that you say that, and yeah, reviews and articles help a lot, but nothing like playing live to let
Yeah.
people see you, let people work with you to accomplish a moment in which all of you are connected and you can get to the next level regarding, artistical ecstasy. But because I don't know in Europe or in the US, but at least here in Mexico and some other Central and South American countries, not many people read reviews because many people just don't like to read.
Yeah.
And they have created this habit of just consuming content, seeing videos, and not getting anything from them.
Mhm.
But that's why just playing live and hitting the road and touring, it's so important for bands that are in the look for greatness like yourself. And it's a very good thing, if you ask me, that you acknowledge that and that you be sincere with yourself and with the audience that, yeah, that's our aim and that's where are we are going to. That's what we're working towards to. And because then people maybe will get excited and will be on the look for what's next. Let's
Yeah.
hear what they are coming out in the next album. I can't wait to hear if they created this at this time. I can't wait to hear what they are be creating for the next album and
Yeah.
be ready to be blown away or be ready to be honest and tell, well, that was not what I was expecting, or that was not as good in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's great that you have the courage to acknowledge that.
I mean, we were constantly working. The third album is already completely written and pre-produced.
Oh man, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it will take some time from now on because you know, Alex and Sebastian are more into the songwriting process
yeah.
right now for the third album. With the Constant Void, it just happened. You know, when I think it was Christopher with the bass and Domenik, they hadn't recorded for the debut album yet, and I was already writing songs for the Constant Void. And by the time the mastering process was done, the pre-production for the Constant Void was already finished.
Mm.
But from then, it took 2.5 years, you know, recording the stuff and
Yeah.
getting the artwork done, mixing, mastering, you know the process. This time I wanted it to be a bit different. I had all the songs recorded during pre-recorded in demo stadium like a year ago, and then I asked Alex and Sebastian, new bass player, if they want to contribute something.
Mm.
And of course they wanted to, and they did. So we're having a lot of Zoom meetings where we're, you know, changing ideas for songs or for certain parts of the songs. What could be better? Let's put this in there. Let's take this out and maybe have this part in. And it's been a great process. So, but that is finished now, and I think the drum recordings will start in September or October.
Oh
So.
man, so very soon.
Yeah, we have to because I think Alex, who's also playing drums for Kamelot, is going on tour with Kamelot the next year. So
Oof.
we have to record the drums very soon
Yeah.
in order for the others to go on with the recordings. If there are no drums, we cannot record everything else.
Yeah,
So,
man, that's clever. Yeah, before he's out of home for a long
yeah,
time, like you say, at least a year maybe.
yeah,
You need to get that done, man. That's crazy, and looking forward to hit the new thing. I mean, it will take some time because proper things take time, but I will be very excited to hear the new thing that you create, man.
cool. Yeah,
And
we're not stopping. So that was, you know, my initial answer was we're working on it to go further and further and grow bigger. Let you know, have people know us.
yeah, man, seize the moment and take advantage of the momentum.
Yeah.
Great, man. And the last question I got for you is this one. Well, nowadays here in Mexico, we are having like this kind of blooming regarding some metal genres. I mean, the stoner and the doom and psychedelic scene here now are very strong, and it's getting to get known outside of the country. Many bands are going on tour to Europe, especially Germany, and but we are not just an accomplished scene yet. Do you happen to know any Mexican bands of whatever the genre is, and if you do, which one are your favorites, or do you know any Mexican musician that you are friends with?
Oh, let me think. You know, I probably have here in the background in my CD and record shelf, I probably have a couple of Mexican bands, but sometimes you don't know if they're from Mexico or I don't know from any other country.
Yeah,
Let me think of what about maybe I pronounce it wrong now, but Brujeria, is there a band like that?
Brujeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But that's,
That-
I mean, they sing Spanish and they talk about Mexico and stuff like that,
yeah.
but they are Americans.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean Mexican Americans. You
Yeah,
know,
okay.
Mexicans that immigrate to the U.S. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
well, maybe that. I mean,
Does it
sadly,
count a
or
bit? Does
sadly,
it count a bit at least?
yeah, man. Yeah,
But
at least they wear the flag.
yeah, yeah, that's why I thought about it because I saw them wearing the Mexican flag. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
man.
maybe you tell me about some Mexican bands, and then I tell you if I know them or not.
Yeah, man. I mean, um, kind of proggy, but also very installed in stoner and space metal. There's a band that is actually gonna tour on October or December in Germany and some other parts of Europe that is called Vinum Sabati. It's a very good band. I know these guys and they are very talented. But we also have like uh, this band that is, I don't know if you have heard Job, the band Job. It's a stoner sludge metal band,
Yeah, yeah.
very talented. We have one here that is called, in Spanish is Espectro de la Conciencia, is like in English, the conscience spectrum, something like that. That they
Mm.
are great, man. Very good technique, very good feeling, and live they just rock. They just rock on stage. I will send you some links so you can
Yeah,
hear
that would
some
be
of
cool.
the theme.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
man.
always looking for new music, and then I like to listen to if a band's from Mexico and they sing in Spanish, that's perfect. If
Yeah,
the band comes from Romania and they sing Romanian, that's perfect. I mean, I really like to discover new stuff. So if you got some links for me, that would be absolutely appreciated. It'd be
for
cool.
sure, man. I will share some of them with you. Thanks. Um, Andreas, those are all of the questions that I have
Oh,
for you.
already.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for helping me answer it so honestly, so vividly, and fondly, because I have had a great time talking with you about this amazing album. I mean, it comes out next Friday, the Constant Void, and Sensory Records is a label that is just gambling for years in the progressive scene. I mean, it's great to see how they are releasing these kind of fantastic albums. I try to push all the knowledge to the people that so they can get the support that they deserve, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I said before, please could you help me out with one question that I can ask for the next guest? As I said, it can be anything you want. I mean, the topic that you choose. If you want to make more than one question, that's perfect with me.
I did not really have the time to think about it. So give me a second.
Yeah, man, don't worry.
Okay, so maybe here's the question. I'm a huge basketball fan.
Yeah, I
Played
can
basketball
tell.
myself all my life, and when it comes to the NBA, there's no doubt that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, if you think that
Oh,
LeBron is the one, you go and fuck yourself.
yeah, but that's the point. Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. I'm absolutely sure about this. There's no discussion about this for me. Other people are discussing, like LeBron James. He's putting out bigger numbers and stuff like that. So in the music world, who would be the Michael Jordan, where everybody can agree on that he's the greatest musician of all time, although there are maybe some other musicians that are technically better.
Man, that's kind of a tough one because I mean, what are we talking about? Guitar players, bass players, drummers, singers,
Yeah,
the all instruments play musicians, you know?
yeah. Whoever is your next interview guest, if he's a drummer, you can tell who's the best drummer of all time. Um, I'm pretty sure if it's a guitar player, many people will say it's Jimi Hendrix, although maybe John Petrucci is better technically.
Mhm.
But maybe that's a tough. I'm looking forward to the answer to that question.
What
Who's the
will be
Michael
your
Jordan of the
answer?
music world? Pardon?
What will be your answer?
Damn, I don't know. I'm absolutely happy that I don't have to answer that because of course, Jimi Hendrix is a super huge influence for every electric guitar player.
Yeah.
But from the technical side, I mean, there are a lot of people that are better.
Yeah, I mean, he's more about feeling. He's more about, like just make this connection with the guitar and
Yeah,
transmitting ideas
yeah.
and feelings. But of
If
course,
there
there
if
are
there's anybody that I would name now that has both, feeling and style and technique, that would be Andy Timmons.
him.
Yeah, Andy Timmons. That would be one of the guitar players. I would say he's got everything.
Oh man, interesting. For me, man, there's so much. For example, someone that I enjoy a lot that is not currently like in a band, but uh, I enjoy his work for a long time because he's great with feeling a good technique. Bruce Kulick, the
Oh yeah,
one that who
yeah,
played with Kiss for several years. I mean,
yeah,
he's much better than Israeli, if you ask me. And for me, he's one of the best performers out there. But I mean, he's not as quick as some other people, and he's not as imaginative as other guitar players. But what he does, I enjoy a lot. I mean,
yeah.
he makes me like, like just wanting to grab the broom and play
Yeah.
our guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, good choice. But if you want to get into Andy Timmons, you listen to Ear Ecstasy 2.
Okay,
There's
man.
one song, for example, on it. It's called Groove or Die. It's got, the super fast shredding stuff. And then there are other songs where there's no shredding at all in it. It's just feeling, pure emotions. And that is really, really fantastic.
Very well balanced.
Yeah. So do
Great,
you want to
man.
hear the story about the intro, or we don't have any
Yeah,
time
man.
left?
Please. Well, we have some time left.
Perfect. The thing about the intro, um, I personally do like intros that are like, getting you into the mood, and then it starts. And why King of Fools was a perfect first song, because it breaks the silence of the intro. But the most important thing is that, the vocal sample that is in the intro. The guy that's speaking the love was.
Yeah.
That's actually my best friend, or was my best friend. We played in a band like 10 years ago, and it was super fun. But for some reasons, I moved away from there. He moved to another city. We stopped making music. We were always saying, we have to do another record. We have to do that. And then he died 2 years ago.
Oh, man. I'm
So I
sorry.
wanted to, thank you. I wanted to honor him, to have him on the record so that we made this album that we spoke about so much. And that's why I made
Man,
that intro, basically.
that's beautiful, man. I mean, it's it's a nice tribute, and it's one way to keeping him alive and with you, and with
Yeah,
and let people just maybe just be slightly touched by him and his
yeah,
legacy, and that's
exactly.
very thoughtful of you, man. Congrats
Yeah,
for that.
I wanted to do an album with him, and it was not possible anymore. So I had to do that. I had this old, vocal sample of him with this speech, and I said, okay, that's
Let's
absolutely
use it.
perfect for the red line that goes through the whole album, the concept, and it fitted perfectly. So it was
Yeah,
the time.
that gives the whole track a total different meaning.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's great, man. Congrats for that very thoughtful action. I'm pretty sure the people who were close to him will be very appreciative about that.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope they will like
Yeah,
it.
man, I hope so too. Um, Andreas, thanks a lot for your time, for being so fun to talk to. If you want to say something to the haters who are watching this interview, please be my guest.
Well, thank you for taking your time to do this interview, and for inviting me, and thank you to everyone who's watching this now, and hopefully enjoying it. And yeah, we all hope that you enjoy the Constant Void, and maybe also our debut album. And we really hope to see you on tour. That would be absolutely amazing,
Yeah,
amazing to
man,
come to Mexico,
please,
for example.
please. Hopefully, you come to Mexico to and play this amazing album.
That would be a dream, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, man. Of course. Just let me say goodbye to the haters. And haters, eso es lo que tenemos en esta entrevista con Andreas Ballnus, guitarrista y compositor de la banda Philosophobia. Recuerden, el siguiente viernes 11 de julio sale a la venta su segundo álbum de estudio The Constant Void a través de Sensory Records. Vamos a dejarle en la descripción los links para que puedan escuchar el trabajo cuando salga y nos den su opinión. Andreas, thanks a lot for your time, man, and I hope to see you here in Mexico very soon.
That would be fantastic. Thank you
Great,
for
man.
your time.
Thank you, man.